What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about 3 press releases that will get you open, okay? So we're going to be talking about 3 different releases that all build off of each other, that all look similar, that can get you guys the most separation off the line of scrimmage. Let's get started with this video. But first things first, fellas, I want to talk to you about a new wide receiver gym training program that we just started offering on my website. So again, if you want an advanced wide receiver training program to help you guys get faster, stronger, bigger, become an overall better route runner, have more explosiveness as a wide receiver, check out that very first link in the description. The only main difference, the workouts get intenser, they get harder, and you see results faster. So again, very first link in the description, 28-day wide receiver gym plan 2.0. Let's get started. So the first release we're going to be talking about here, not going to focus too much on the top of the route. Top of the route was not bad, but we're going to be focusing off the release, okay? So now we're going to be talking about a speed release, a wide step, then a wide step double tap, okay? So what a speed release is, or a single jab release, is where you're going to take your front foot, jab quick to the inside, then take a quick outside release, and you got to go fast, right? So against press, he's running like a post corner right here, longer developing route, most likely the first read. Maybe it's not play action concept. Maybe it's more of like a straight drop back pass concept, like quarterbacks just going 5-step game. We got to get off the line quick, right? So the first release that we decided to go with, you see how this receiver gives that jab to the inside. Gives one little move, a little head and shoulder fake, gets that DB maybe sitting to the outside, then let's just beat him with speed. Maybe it's like a must outside release. Maybe this route is one where he's got to outside release. He's got to take a release outside to be able to get as much separation as possible. So that single jab to the inside is what builds into this wide step that we're going to be talking about next, right? So again, all your releases got to look the same. Why do all your releases got to look the same? So you can be unpredictable, because maybe this DB starts to think that, oh, all he's got is that single jab. I'm just going to play the outside. I'm just going to jump to the outside. Then I can hit him with a wide step and take the inside. So let's watch this thing again, full speed. Then we're going to talk about the next release that builds off of this. So this is like the intro, right? Not a difficult release. Just a single jab to the inside, take the outside. Maybe you're backside. Maybe you got to been blocking over and over again. Maybe your job is to run the defender off. This is a release that I use over and over again to set up this next one that we're going to be talking about. So he gives that quick jab to the inside, bursts up to the outside, and then pushes vertical. Great route. Love the top of the route. Now let's talk about this wide step. So we see how this receiver here, he goes that wide step to the outside and then breaks back on this slant, right? So now he doesn't necessarily pick up that front foot, which can take away some explosion. However, you see how he kind of gets some weight on that front foot, right? Like he's just doing that quick little speed release where he's just picking this front foot up and putting it down. Very similar to what we did on the last release that we were talking about, right? We give that single jab to the inside, then I go to the outside and just run. I just run to the outside. Now, when you give that single jab to the inside and you give that one jab, what's the first thing, if you're trying to run a fade, you're trying to take a must outside release, what's the first thing that gets outside? Your eyes, your shoulders, and your hips. So if I'm going to go with a wide step, and what a wide step is you step wide. It's exactly how it sounds. You step outside of the DB's frame. The only way to be able to get this guy to move is if I commit my shoulders and I commit my hips to this wide step, to this fade. I want to be able to sell vertical. I want to be able to sell fade in one step. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like people ask me, like somebody asked a question yesterday, and it was a good question, like how can I run a hitch route better? And within this 5 yards, you got to sell vertical. Within those, like let's say it's a 4-step, 5-step hitch route, you got to freaking go, man. Those are the 5 steps that you got to be fast, you got to be in stride, then you got to drop. Same thing off the line of scrimmage. Same principle applies when you're doing a wide step, diamond release, whatever it is. You got to make sure that we're able to sell vertical in one step. And how I do that, I have explosion off the line from that front step. It all builds, right? That quick little single jab release. I do the same thing, but I step wide with my back foot like I'm going vertical, and you see what that does to the DB. That makes that DB's hips turn, because again, where's he supposed to be watching? He's supposed to be watching your hips. So if you commit your hips and your shoulders to the outside, you have speed and explosion. Your eyes are there. That's how you sell vertical, even in one step. And that wide step is what gets him to turn those hips. And then I got to be able to come off of here. Now you see how he kind of drags a little bit with that back foot. That just gives that little delay right here that makes this route just a little bit slower. If you guys can wide step and immediately after you hit that leg, bam, right there, we just push and we just drive and we accelerate and focus on widening the distance, you're going to get a lot of separation, okay? So the first 2 releases that we're talking about today, right? You got that single jab, then you got that wide step. It's got to look the exact same. How we make it look the same? Speed, commit the hips and shoulders, eyes to the outside. That's what gets the DB to jump. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great work here coming off, working that wide step release, stepping wide, accelerating back to the middle, make sure we win that race to the ball, okay? So now, we're going to be looking at this same receiver here. So now, Let's talk about this double tap now, okay? So now, we already worked on the first release, right? Where we give just one move to the inside. Then we worked on the little pickup, put down step, prep step, I call it. Some people call it a false step. They don't know what they're talking about if they call that a false step. It's just a little prep step to create energy. Then we step wide with the back foot. Now what we're gonna talk about is where we do the prep step, step wide with the back foot, come back inside with the inside foot to take an outside release again. So now, you beat him on the speed release, you beat or the single jab release, right? Some people got different names for it. You beat him on the single release. Now you beat him on the wide step release. Now we want to go back to the outside, but we got to make it look just like the wide step. And now maybe you go with the wide step first, then you come back with this release, right? There's really no specific order on this. You just got to make it look the same. You got to make it look similar so this DB doesn't think that you're predictable, doesn't think that he has your tendencies down, right? Because if you're predictable, that's how you get found out, right? You see people all the time getting like, people say like announced like, oh, he just got out coached, he just got this, he just got that in the third. Let's watch this video full speed. I want to get to that first. So you see how he comes off 1-2, right? And you get that DB to sit to the inside, then I burst up to the outside and run this fade. So great example of what making all your routes look the same can do, right? So he takes that little false step right here. So again, like I was saying before, when you get out coached, usually that's because like we just knew what you were going to do, right? We studied all weekend on film. We studied all week on film. We knew what you guys were going to come out with. Your tendencies were this. We were ready for those tendencies. We had the right plays to beat those tendencies and bam. Now as a DB and a DB coach, what they look for in receivers is like, okay, he likes to do this, this, and this. That's all he likes to do, right? He has 3 releases that he does. He always does this release on this route, always does this release on this route, and they don't build. That's how you get completely covered, blanketed by a good corner. But if your releases look the same, they never know what you're going to run, right? They never know what you're going to do off the line of scrimmage. They can't prepare for it, so they're trusting their instincts and their discipline on the field when they don't know what you're going to do. How you beat your opponent, you got to know what they're doing before they even do it. That's why it's good to understand how a DB likes to play, right? So now I make this all look the same. He has no idea what I'm going to be doing. So we come off the line of scrimmage. You see how he gives his leg here, takes that same wide step. Where's he stepping? Outside the DB's frame, right? That's what's going to get him to move. That's what makes it look the exact same, fellas. If you guys don't step outside his frame, you guys don't get him to actually move, you don't try to force him to move, that's not going to move him. He's just going to sit right there, watch those hips, and we're not going to do anything. So he commits the shoulders, hips, steps outside the DB's frame, and now we got to push off of that leg and give that move back to the inside. So again, it's like a 1-2-3. And you see how his head and shoulders commit to the inside, because what did we used to do off the wide step? We would run a slant. We'd hit that wide step, we'd accelerate over the middle and try to cross this dude's face. He doesn't want that to happen again, especially in man coverage when he's inside shade. I'm taught not to let anybody cross my face. So if I threaten him there and I hit him with this quick 1-2-3 and give that little head and shoulder fake, that gets him sitting on the inside. He does not want to get beat on a slant again, so he gives up the outside. My releases look the same. My feet are sudden. My feet are quick. I create explosion, and I can burst upfield. This is a perfect example right here of what to do and how to make your releases look the same. Let's watch it again full speed. So he comes off 1-2 and then bursts back upfield, that wide step double tap release. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also, fellas, 28-day wide receiver gym program 2.0, more advanced exercise, faster results. If you want to become faster, bigger, stronger, overall better receiver, check out that very first link in the description. Hope we get you guys on that soon. I'll see you guys next time.